Yo, what is good YouTube? I am Richie Kim, and today I'm going to be bringing you all the performance review on the Nike KD16. Before we get started, if you all enjoy sneaker content just like this, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button down below, and also make sure to hit that bell notification button so you never miss another video just like this. But anyways, let's get right into it. As always, starting off with the traction, the KD16 features this multi-directional gear traction pattern, which is inspired by KD's methodical way he practices or something like that. And yeah, so this particular pair, it does have this black outsole. It's all black. And for me, the traction was actually pretty good. At first, it definitely wasn't the best. I was slipping here and there, but once you break into traction, it does actually get pretty good. If you guys are playing on your clean courts, you should be fine. I think the bite is pretty damn good on the clean courts. If you're playing on dustier courts, however, you will be slipping from time to time. Depending on how dusty the court is, you might not even have very much traction at all, actually. I would say dust performance is not great, but if you are playing on your cleaner courts, you will be very, very good. The one thing about this though is it does pick up dust. Good thing about it though is you can wipe off that dust pretty easily, but even after doing that on those dustier courts, I would still say I was slipping quite often. So if you are playing on your dustier courts, I'd probably stay away. As far as the outsole durability, I would pretty much recommend to only use these indoors. You could use these outdoors, but I don't know if this rubber will really last. So moving on to the cushion, the KD16 features what I believe is a Cushlon midsole. I'm only assuming that because Nike hasn't actually said anything specifically about this foam, and Cushlon is what they have been using in previous iterations of the KD line. So I'm going to assume it's full-length Cushlon, but on the inside of this is what really matters, and that is the air strobel in the back half of the shoe and the zoom unit up in the forefoot, and the cushion in here is amazing. If you like a good balance of having impact protection but also having court feel, I think that the KD16 did a really good job of that. You honestly have pretty decent court feel up in the forefoot area, but you also have that impact protection. If you like bounce, you like zoom. If you like a softer cushion, the heel got you, because the air strobel really does feel very nice. So yeah, definitely a departure from the full-length zoom setups that we've been getting in the KD models. But honestly, I really don't have any complaints about the half air, half zoom setup in the KD16. Personally, this is something that I could play in for hours and hours, and I don't think my feet would ever feel like a lot of fatigue. It's just a very comfortable cushion setup. So moving on to the materials, the KD16 features a multi-layer mesh setup with thicker layers on top of it, at least according to them, and those thicker layers are pretty much like the synthetic leather that they have in various parts of the shoe. So as far as a material standpoint goes, honestly, I think the materials are fine. Could they be nicer for the price point? I would say yes, 100%. But from a performance aspect, I think the materials do a great job. It's not too hot in the shoe. It feels very comfortable on foot, and I do think that the overlays that they added, like in the toe box and the medial part of the shoe, they actually play a performance aspect in making sure that your foot is nice and contained on that footbed, and they do exactly that. They did a great job. On top of the synthetic material, at least in the midfoot, you also have these plastic cages, which definitely ensures that your foot is staying on that footbed and you won't have any instability issues when it comes to those lateral movements. So moving to the tongue, you do have a decently padded tongue as well, and that's definitely necessary, and I'll get into that later, why it's necessary. But yeah, overall the material usage on the KD16 is really good. Could it be better in terms of the quality? Yes, 100%. But from a performance aspect, I have zero complaints about the materials on the KD16. So moving on to the fit, the KD16 fits pretty much like the KD15 and the 14. If you all have played in those, I would recommend getting whatever size you got in those. For those that haven't, I would say that these do run true to size. I'm a slightly wide footer and I went true to size, and it is a little bit tight up in the forefoot, especially where my pinky toe area is. But I would say over time, the materials do break in, and it's actually very comfortable. If you do have wider feet to really wide feet, you might want to go up a half size, but at the same time, I don't know if I would recommend that, just because you might have some support issues. So, you know, narrow footers, normal footers, true to size. Slightly wide footers, also go true to size. But yeah, you know, I thought the fit was great. The materials lie very nicely over the foot. I felt very, very snug in the shoe. So if that is something that you like, yeah, definitely go true to size. Overall, fit in the KD16 was really good. So moving on to the support in the KD16, this is where I think things kind of deteriorate, but also it's not that bad because there are remedies to it. But for me, the support in the KD16 overall was good once I started cranking down these laces. So if you don't crank down your laces, I personally had heel slippage. This isn't the most sculpted heel area, so you might experience some heel slippage, but what I found is if you actually crank down the laces in the shoe, you don't have that issue. At least I didn't have that issue. The heel slippage was completely eliminated. So that's why I kind of mentioned earlier that having this nicely padded tongue is pretty damn important, because if you don't crank down the laces, you will have that heel slippage issue. At least I did. When it comes to lateral support, I thought the support in the shoe was fine. You do have a fairly wide base, and the foam actually protrudes to kind of be an outrigger. And the materials do a nice job of making sure your foot is not sliding around on that footbed. So as long as you crank down your laces, I would say the KD16 actually has very good support. So the KD16 retails for $160, and that's pretty much in line with the previous KD models. For $160, I would recommend this shoe if you are playing on cleaner courts. If you are playing on dustier courts, like I said, the traction does suffer on those dusty courts, no matter how much you wipe. At least that's just from my experience, But yeah, on the cleaner courts, this thing is great. It's super comfortable. The traction is pretty damn good on those cleaner courts. And yeah, I mean, overall, this is a great shoe to play in. It's super fun and very, very comfortable. Just make sure that you are staying away from those dustier courts, and make sure that you also crank down those laces. Otherwise, you might have some heel slippage. Overall, I would recommend the KD16s. They were super fun and very comfortable. If you all are interested in copying a pair of these, I will leave a link for you down in the description box below. But that's pretty much it for this performance review. If you all like this video, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button down below and hit that bell notification button so you never miss another video just like this. But anyways, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.